Welcome everyone. It's 𝐁𝐿𝐮𝐫𝐧𝐞𝐝 from bloomintoyou.com, founder of the Client Creation Queen program, where I help my clients get paid, get clients, and feel like they're living their sacred calling. And today I'm so excited to be doing a Client Creation Queen success story with the lovely, spiritually gifted, talented 𝐁𝐿𝐼. Welcome, 𝐁𝐿𝐼.
Hi, 𝐁𝐿𝐼. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. I'm so excited to share you with everyone and just share the pearls that you have been learning and are learning on your journey. So if you could just introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about you and the work that you do.
Of course. Yeah. So you know me as 𝐁𝐿𝐼, but I am stepping into my higher self as Empress A. And my business name is Reign in Your Life. And I'm a spiritual activator, healer, and channel. And so I activate my clients to use the traumas and dramas of their life as a spiritual tool so that they can awaken their soul purpose and live an authentic and abundant life. And so I'm an advanced Akashic Records practitioner, a light language and light being channel, and also a beyond quantum healing practitioner. And I really just guide my clients back to the remembrance that each of us is a divine being here to create our own blissful reality.
And so it is. That is so beautiful. So if you can share with folks, like, where were you when you started this journey? Like, why was now the time to take the next step?
Yeah, well, I think like is true for so many people. COVID just changed so many things in my life. I've been working in the pharmaceutical industry for over 10 years as a pharmaceutical sales rep. And I've always been a creative person and a spiritual person. I'm a songwriter as well. And there was a time way back when I was doing a tarot card reading business and things like this when I lived in Oakland, when we knew each other from way back. And so, yeah, I moved to LA. I had been in LA for maybe definitely less than 6 months before COVID hit. And I had just gotten a new job, as a pharmaceutical sales rep, and COVID changed everything about the way that we were working. It became extremely stressful. It turned into a toxic work environment. Meanwhile, we were on quarantine. So really all I was doing is working my toxic job and sitting in my apartment. And it gave me a lot of opportunity to reflect on what really makes me happy. And if I'm not doing what really makes me happy every day, then what am I really doing?
Yeah.
I wanted a life of flow and ease. I wanted a life where I didn't have to set a timer on my meditation to get ready to go to work, where I could just be intuitive and feel led from moment to moment. Of course, life requires some structure, but I just wanted, really just a chance to experience more flow and healing in my own life. And so I took a medical leave from work because it was getting really bad for me. And that was really the first step when everything kind of started opening up for me. I had a lot of information flooding in about why I'm really here, what I'm really supposed to be doing, bringing my spiritual gifts into the world that I really had locked away for a long time. And so I sat there, I was on medical leave and I was just stressed, and I didn't, it took me a while to unwind before I realized I was like, oh my God, like I'm not going back. So I was like, okay, if I'm not going back, then what am I doing? And so it started coming into focus that I was going to be starting a healing and coaching business. And yeah, I was aware of you from when we knew each other years ago and had just been following you on Facebook from that time when we knew each other, and started seeing what you were doing. I mean, over years. And I never thought anything of it. Like, I never was like, oh, she's going to be my coach one day. I was more like, oh, look what she's doing. This is amazing. And I'm watching, And so when I was on this medical leave and I was like, okay, I'm not going back. And if I'm going to quit, because I knew as well, like, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to start a business. Well, I don't just want to jump into an abyss where I could potentially just fall into a black hole or panic or, all kinds of things that could really happen and not really keep me focused on my intention. Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to reach out to 𝐁𝐿𝐴 and find out what is this about creating clients, because if I quit my job, I'm going to need to create some clients. And she's doing it. And so rather than trying to start from scratch, I might as well, put in a phone call to someone who I know is doing it and someone whose process I've been admiring. And so that's how it happened.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. It was so powerful on so many levels. And I think that a lot of people watching might relate, maybe, being in that transitional time, maybe you're at a job that you don't enjoy anymore. It feels like it's sucking the life out of you, or changing locations. And I just kind of want to dig in there a little bit, because I just feel like people will relate in terms of like kind of figuring out like what's next. How were you able to, like, what helped you tap into that, like, hey, I got to do something different?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I was so unhappy, 𝐁𝐿𝐴, and, I've been in my healing process for a long time. I've had a lot of therapy. So I do have a good process of really evaluating myself and, asking myself the difficult questions. And I also really think that the entire universe and God conspired, with my soul to create the situation that was like, what are you doing? First of all, you came to LA to be a songwriter, and then you did, and I did the thing that was rational, makes sense, it's comfortable to do. Let me get my little job on the side that I know I can do and put on autopilot. Then I can hustle over here in the music industry. But the job turned into a thing that I couldn't do on autopilot. And not only that, became, something, just so unhelpful to my creative process and my healing, right? And so, I have a meditation practice. I work with my own energy, all of the stuff that I teach my clients, right? And so what it was is that moment in which you say no to what you don't want.
Yeah.
And it releases you to begin to really accept all of the divine messages that are waiting for you, all of the blessings that are waiting for you. And all of that information just started to come in, and it was nudging and it was pushing me. And I was like, okay, I guess I have to pay attention. So to answer your question, anyone in this situation, what you can really do is stop, is just take a moment, take some time out, pause. And, if that doesn't mean quit your job today, and if you can't quit your job right away, just start to create a space and time for yourself where you can just sit there and feel your feelings and ask yourself the difficult questions.
Beautiful. And I agree with you that during this time, you don't have to wait for a pandemic to happen, but I think because of the pandemic, a lot of people were asking themselves that question, like, what am I really here to do? What do I really want to be doing? And I loved that you listened. And another thing you said that was really powerful, 𝐁𝐿𝐴, was that you had all these spiritual gifts that were kind of hidden or unlocked. So, and I think a lot of people will relate to that as well, because I work with a lot of women that have spiritual gifts, and like sometimes it's a process of coming out of the spiritual closet. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to that. Like, how did you find the courage to be like, okay, I'm not going to keep this hidden anymore?
Yeah, well, I have been keeping it hidden for a long time. I remember when I lived in Oakland, this was over 10 years ago. Like I said, I tried to start a tarot card reading and spiritual house cleaning, spiritual counseling business. And I was just doing it on the side, and it was so difficult to show up, right? Things have definitely changed over the last 10 years, where I do feel like the consciousness is shifting towards a different type of understanding of God and spirituality, understanding energy, understanding the soul, right? But at that point in time, I was just out there by myself, hoping no one would call me crazy.
Yeah.
And I shut it down because of the fear. I accepted the messages that you're not going to be able to make money doing this. No one values this. All of my family stuff coming in about this type of thing is evil over here. Jesus is the only answer, and this is not just me. This is what we battle with in this current state of consciousness that we are on the planet, right? And so I've just been through so much in my life, 𝐁𝐿𝐴, that when everything kind of came down in this one situation. I just looked back at everything that had happened, and I was just like, if now is not the time, then when? Like, when am I going to truly start to be myself? When am I going to allow my light to shine and not worry about what anyone thinks? And there's risk in that, right? You may lose people. People may attack you or tell you things that don't feel good. But at the end of the day, here I am crying on my couch every day because I'm trying to do what other people want me to do. So, you know, I can either sit here and cry or, you know, put myself, you know, start to chart my own course and honor my gifts and feel the fear and move forward anyway. And it's definitely better than sitting and crying on my couch. I can tell you that.
Beautiful. And I just know that people are going to resonate with this so much. So tell us a little bit. So we started coaching together, working together. Before you started, were there any concerns that you had to saying yes to working with me?
That's a really good question. You know, I mean, 𝐻𝐿𝐲, you're just so amazing. It's been so wonderful to work with you because this might not be typical, but the concerns that I had coming in was that I was so burnt out. I was so stressed and I just needed the know-how. Like, I didn't necessarily need someone to push me. And I was concerned. I was like, oh my God, if I sign up for a coaching program, someone's going to push me. It's going to trigger all my type A stuff. And then I'm going to be right back where I was in my corporate job. Right. And so I remember I was saying all kinds of things to you, like, I'm going to go slow. Okay. I need to like focus on calming my nervous system. No, so cause I know that I needed to be in this container. And, you know, I think some people want to be in this container for accountability or whatever, but I just really wanted to be in it because I was like, I don't want to recreate the wheel. Like, I want someone to show me this is what you do, right? And allow me to do it at my own pace, which honestly, for the first time in my life, probably, I'm allowing myself to go at my own pace, which for me is crucial because I've always just had this oppressive, you know, level of pressure and this fire under my butt that's like created by, I mean, granted, it's created by our society in a lot of ways, but I've really internalized it and turned it on myself. And that's not the life that I'm creating today. So I really, you know, that was one of my concerns. And I mean, you know, I'm intuitive, so I can't say I really had that many concerns beyond that because I was just like, this feels right. This feels good. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I know it's going to go. So.
Oh, beautiful. And you know what? It's so interesting because people can have all these ideas about what they think coaching is going to be like. So, and I love that you brought that up, you know, like, well, I don't want anyone pushing me, you know. So that can be a fear, you know, and part of the work is really getting in tune with your client and really listening to what their needs are so that, like you said, they can move in a way that feels authentic to them, because once you're not working together, like, you want to be able to create something that's sustainable. And if you're feeling pushed in the coaching, and then it's hard to recreate that once you stop. So I love that you brought that up.
A good point. I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah, like we're working in such a way that it doesn't feel like, how can I articulate what you just said? Because I think it's so important. It's sustainable and it's my own style. It's within me, but just supported by you. So like if and when we stop working together, it won't feel like, what do I do now? Because I wasn't even being myself before. I was completely led by something outside of me, but it's more like you give the space for me to be led by what's inside of me, but just with some supporting guidance, right? Which is the same that I do for my clients. And I just, that style, I think is just, it's crucial. And it's one of the keys to the success that I've had.
Well, let's talk about the success. The rock star success you have. So tell us a little bit about what you have created inside of your client creation program, because it's so different for everybody.
Yes. Oh my gosh, 𝐻𝐿𝐲, it's insane. It's like, I remember, oh my gosh. First of all, I remember like, thinking about creating a niche, like what's my, I help people to blah, 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 so that they can la, 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 right? And I mean, that alone is powerful, right? Because I learned from you that you have to know that so you know who you're speaking to. Like now I've turned into a content creator on my Instagram, right? But now, I mean, it's working for a number of reasons, but it's also working because I understand who I'm speaking to, right? And that's something that you helped me develop. And also to understand that that's something that can always grow and change, like in terms of how I'm defining my niche or how I'm talking about my niche, right? Because, I'm just like, oh, I got to get it right. It's like, but that's not what it's about. It's about throwing something out there and seeing how it works and then moving and shifting and changing from there. So I've created the Soul Purpose Activation Program, which is an 8-week one-on-one coaching program. And you helped me to create my discovery call and help me understand that it's fun and it's important to call it something. So it's my Soul Purpose Activation Call, which has been really juicy and attractive for people. And yeah, you really introduced me to, the idea of the importance of the discovery call and the importance of promoting that so that people can, put yourself out there to be like, hey, I have something that you might be interested in, and people can have the opportunity to be invited to talk to you more about what you're doing. So there's that. I mean, what else?
And can we just talk about how that's been like popping off the charts that,
oh my gosh. So you had me do the 5-day series, and the synchronicity of everything, because I was also pushing myself to show up more in Clubhouse. I was pushing myself to create more content on my Instagram. So it was so interesting because when I did that 5-day series, I just didn't realize how much was going to come together. So I started promoting it on Facebook and I started promoting it on Instagram. And at first nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was promoting the discovery call in Clubhouse. People were going back to my Instagram and seeing my posts and then calling me, right? And then one person from Facebook reached out to me who was like a childhood friend from like over 25 years ago and happened to just go on Facebook one time in the last several months, which is the week that I did my promotion, ended up being my first client. And so, we talked about too, how sometimes you're putting energy one place and then the blessing comes from another place. And so to just have faith in the process and I also really like I said, I work with energy. So every time I would put my post out there, I would be like, yes, I'm attracting the clients, and I'm attracting the clients that are uniquely matched to have a transformation with me, people that are fun for me to work with. And like, I was just, I did not let myself just throw the post out there. Like I was working it.
Yeah. That's been really fun to see, 𝐁𝐿𝐶, because I even remember you saying, I'm getting a client I can feel it. I'm getting a client this week. And you did. Yeah. And so even though you said that, like, did you really know? Because sometimes we can say it, but there's a part that questions, or did you feel like you knew?
Well, so I guess my experience is that first of all, and this is general for me too, I know that I know. And this is why I'm here, right? I knew that, like, I didn't think that I was going to come into this program and not be successful. Like that wasn't an option, right?
Okay, I like that.
But I mean, all the other stuff that exists is, telling me that I'm not going to, I'm going to fail. This is not going to work, like blah, blah, blah. That's there. I just, in my process have been able to recognize that, oh, that's not me. That's just the crap that, the world puts on you. And so it just because I know that I know doesn't mean that stuff is going to go away. Right. Yeah. So it's there and I acknowledge it. So I can't say that I never heard the voice that was like, this isn't going to work, but I just was like, well, we know why that's there, and we can just tell it to sit down and let me do what I'm doing because it's going to work.
Yeah. What's so powerful about this, it just goes to show that sometimes people think that it's, I just need to know what to do, that it's just about the strategy, but they put a strategy out there without much heart and energy, and you did both. Yeah. So you put yourself out there and your energy felt really like you were excited to call in these clients and were excited to put out your offer, and that has an incredible impact. So share with folks how many clients you have had so far.
Yeah. So first I want to say I've had 26 discovery calls.
Oh my God.
I can't even remember the time frame, but it's not, I mean, it's like, I wish because I went through all my stuff to look. I can't remember, but it hasn't been more than a few months. I mean,
No, I don't think it's probably been 2 months. Yeah.
Yes. And it'll be 29 by the end of next week. And then I have 4 clients, and I'm speaking to someone today later after this call who I believe is going to sign up. So that's amazing.
It is incredible. I'm so proud of you. And so I just want to add to, not only do you have, or you've gotten 4 clients, but one of them has renewed.
One client has renewed. That's right. And keep in mind that when I started, I was a 4-week program. So now I'm an 8-week program. Yes. And the client that renewed at 8 weeks.
Yes. And at a higher price, right?
At a higher price. And one of my clients, so the other client that I had was also during the time that I had the 4 weeks, but one of my more recent clients signed up for the 8-week program. So, and then I have someone now who wanted to sign up for 4 weeks at first, but I'm pretty sure she's going to end up doing the 8-week program as well, just because it's just the appropriate container for this deep type of work that people are doing. So, yes. Yeah.
Well, what's so powerful here is that it can feel easy to feel stuck in what you're doing. And so, or to feel like, oh, if I pick this, is this going to be the right package? But you're demonstrating that your package has grown. So you started off with 4 weeks and now it's grown to 8 weeks. And, you can decide to shrink it, expand it for those of you that are watching. But then also you've had a price increase from your first package to your current offering. And so can you share, and you did that pretty quickly. Yeah. Can you share with people just your thought process around increasing your prices, expanding your package, because it doesn't have to take a long time. You don't have to have, I'm going to do this for 6 months. It literally can be, the next person you talk to that you make an offer for your new price point. So if you can tell.
Yeah. And that has been so fun for me, realizing that it's just an experiment, right? To see how do people respond to X, Y, and Z price point. And not only that, more than experiment, it's also deep work that we do, right? About ourselves to really, come to terms with how much do we value ourselves? How much do we value our time? How much do we value our gifts, right? I can't say enough about that. It's so deep, because I had moments when I was like, I'm scared, 𝐻'Iꞌ, like I can't ask for this amount, because what if they feel bad, or what if they don't want to do it because it's the X, Y, and Z? But you know what? You have to work through all of that, because your ideal client who's there for you is ready and prepared to enter your program at your appropriate price point. That is just the truth. And so you may go through some people who just are not ready or not, energetically matched, but that doesn't mean that you're asking for too much money. And you have to just know in yourself, right? And I went through processes for myself, because I sat there and I was like, I spend a lot of time thinking about my clients, going over their sessions, what's going to work for them. Okay, what are we going to do next time? And, creating my content on Instagram, which there's so much free content that I put out there, designing I put so much time. And so at my first price point, when I looked at the number of hours that I was spending and the amount, I was like, this is like $10 an hour, and I'm like, I can guarantee that I'm worth more than $10 an hour. And so that helped me really increase my price and increase it pretty quickly. And the other thing that helped is when I offered that first program, I'm trying to think of how many discovery calls I did at that price point, but it doesn't even matter, because I know that it was like maybe 1. And then the second person that I offered it to was just like, okay. And I was like, wait, what? And I thought it was a lot of money. I mean, looking back now, I was like, oh my God, it's not even that much money. And it was not honoring what I'm bringing, this transformational change that I'm inviting people into, and all of the work that I put into that. So I just encourage people to think about that. And we have so many limiting beliefs around money. Okay. And so I just want people to understand as well that money is just energy. And more than that, it's a form of consciousness, and it gives us an opportunity to expand ourselves and to heal so many limiting beliefs that we have about self-worth, what we're able to achieve, what we're allowed to have, who we're allowed to be. So just really take the opportunity to use your business to heal these things. I'm doing it. And I think that the way that you work, 𝐁𝐿𝐴, also creates space for people to work in their business as a deeper level. And that's probably also why I was attracted to your program, because I'm not just here to create clients. Like, I'm here to transform my life and the lives of others.
Yes. Oh, so good. It's beautiful to witness. And you're right. It's such an incredible journey. And I always say that when someone works in your program, like whether it's 4 weeks or 8 weeks, the skills that you're sharing with them are going to last way beyond that program. And it's easy to get stuck in like, okay, 4 weeks, 1 hour a week. And I love that you're able to see everything that you're putting into it, because sometimes women dismiss or don't own all that they're giving. And I love that you were able to see, oh my God, I'm putting out a lot of energy here, and that you want to have some resonance in terms of the pay structure.
Yeah.
So,
And oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to give, I just want to give props to you, because in those times when I was just like, I'm scared, like this feels like a lot, like you were just there to be a person that was like, this is absolutely reasonable. It's like, there's nothing wrong with this, it's like, and even if you offer it to someone and they get upset, that's their stuff. It's not your stuff. And we even talked deeper about that, because I was like, 𝐁𝐿𝐴, like, I'm feeling like I'm also supposed to have this conversation around money consciousness with people, but I don't want to turn people off, or I don't want people to feel like they're being manipulated, because there's so much of that out there, right? But where I'm coming from is wanting to help people heal their blocks so they can actually receive what they intended to receive. They came into this call to receive something, not to run away from it, right? And so you helped me to really just be like, you can have that conversation. This is what you're here for. And anyone who feels any kind of way, that's okay. They have to go through their own process, right? It doesn't mean that my price is too high.
Yeah. And you use an important word, which I hear a lot of women say. It's like, they don't want to be manipulative. I have said that myself, like, and it's ironic. I always say that the people who are most concerned about being manipulative are the least manipulative people. It's just so ironic, that,
Yeah.
And, I also think that the truth can be uncomfortable, like when we need to grow, sometimes it can be hard to look at yourself and see where you're playing victim, or where you're wanting to save other people. And the truth, at the end of the day, we talked about that it's your business, and you can always have a structure where, you scholarship a certain percentage of people, or if you really want to work with someone, you feel like they're really committed, that you guys work something out or offer a longer payment plan. It's your business, and you get to do what feels right. So we're always coming back and checking in, like, oh, I really want to work with this person, or it doesn't feel right. Like, it feels like it's crossing a boundary to overgive. So I love that you're having all of those insights. So good. And I also want to talk about, like, you've had incredible growth in terms of your community building, like massive rock star growth.
It's been massive. It's been massive. Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say, because it's like, I haven't previously been like such an Instagram person. Like, I do remember, like, when I was in my medical leave and I was just really working on my healing process, and this is the process of just discovering how to heal myself, right? And so I was just throwing little things out there, sharing, because I was wondering, like, how do people respond to this? I feel like kind of this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then when we started, I realized, I remember you said, because I'm this person that's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I have to do everything. And you were like, you need to be out there, and you need to be putting yourself out there, but pick like 1 or 2 ways that you're going to do it, and do it, right? And so I sat back and I was like, I think Instagram is going to be my thing. And so I just was like, this is one of the ways that I'm putting myself out there. This is one of the ways that I'm getting clients and I'm showing people what I can offer, right? And like I said, along with defining my niche and understanding who I'm speaking to, I just started creating content. And I also have to say that definitely my spirit team is working with me, because I'm channeling a lot of this content and I'm channeling a lot of the designs that I was like, I don't even know where this came from. The business name, you know, Empress A, like all this stuff is also channeled, but that's just a testament to the fact that you have to be willing to show up. You have to say yes, right? So, I mean, it's been an amazing experience. You know, and it's some certain thing. Well, first of all, my reels, you know, Instagram right now with reels is a thing. So that's been helping. And I've been finding that that's another way for me to use my creativity to heal myself and others. And little miracles have happened. Like someone pinned a comment and that day I got like 100 followers, and then more followers trickled in. And someone else shared one of my posts and that day I got like 100 followers. And one of my, you know, a couple of my reels, and it's not going viral, but a couple of my reels have gone up to like 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, you know, so, which I was just like, oh my God, you know.
So I'm just going to brag on 𝐿𝐿𝐴 a little bit, because she's still being a little humble. So gotten like hundreds of followers on Instagram, thousands of views. And I love how you're sharing that the creativity is pouring through, because I always say that like your business can be, hopefully if you're pursuing this, is like a deep vehicle for your self-expression. And that sometimes I know people can feel burdened by creating content, but if you tap into the flow and the fun of it, like you know, if you check out 𝐁𝐿𝐴's page, like you see her doing, she has so much fun. She's hilarious. She's laughing. She's burning sage. She's being herself. And so just giving yourself freedom to just express what's in your heart and connect it to the people that you're serving. So congratulations on all of your growth. What advice would you have for people who are like, maybe they haven't sold their first package yet, or maybe they feel like it's going to take a long time, or getting their next client? What would you say to them?
Do you mean people who are already in your program?
No, people who maybe they've never gotten a client.
Yeah.
And so they're thinking about like, well, that can happen for 𝐿𝐴, but I don't know if it can happen for me. You know, like she did 4 packages, or, you know, in 2 months, like high ticket packages, high tickets, that means over $1,000. What would you say to them if they're like in a place of they want it, but maybe they're not believing?
Well, I would say this. I would say if you think you can do it by yourself, maybe you can, but it's going to take you a lot longer, and it may not be as fun. So I would just really encourage people to put themselves in a container like the one that you provide, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴, because the wheel is already being created. There are so many tools and resources that you give in your program that I literally was like, cut and paste. You know, and if I want to redesign it, or if I want to change it later, that's fine. But one of the other things I want to say about being in your program that I think will be helpful to other people is that your whole thing is just like, just put it out there. I was like, well, don't I need a website? And to this day, I still don't have a website. I just have some links in my Instagram bio, and I'm getting like all those discovery calls and clients, right? What's important is just to put it, you know, find some way to package it nicely and put it out there and start doing it. Now, most people, you know, unless maybe you've started a business before, just don't have the level of, you know, organization or motivation to do that on their own. Or even if it's not organization or motivation, then guidance, right? So I don't know what to say. I mean, I just have to say, you know, sign up for 𝐻𝐻𝐴's program, because you will get clients. You will, you know, create, you know, your own package. You will create your own brand, your own, you know, what I do statement, and all of these things that, you know, maybe you're not thinking about now, and you're not realizing how important it is to do these things, or just maybe even start putting yourself out there. And maybe you just need the encouragement, or you just need to know that it's okay. Because that's the other thing. So sometimes, 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻, we would have these conversations and I would just tell you about stuff and you'd be like, okay, yeah. And you'd be like, you can do it this way or that way. And I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess it's okay. And I would be like, oh, it's okay. And I'd run with it, So you just need someone, another successful person sometimes to just tell you it's okay, or tell you like, hey, I've been there before. This is what I experienced. This is how I did it. This is what I think could be helpful for you. Why not? Like, you deserve to not be struggling. That's what I think. I think you deserve to not be struggling and to have fun doing it, and to sit side by side someone who's already been successful rather than just banging your head against the wall. So that's what I think.
Hosea, you are such a pleasure to work with. And I love what you said about just making it your own, because it really is like the name of my business is Bloom Into You, because it's about being you. And I feel like your creativity is just shining through, and your clients are so lucky to have you. I know how much you care and like think about them and love them. So any final thoughts before we complete?
Well, I just have to thank you, 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐻. I mean, this has been such a transformational and amazing process for me to work with you. I'm so glad I didn't really hesitate, and I followed my own intuition and knowing that this was the program that was going to help me to get to where I need to go. I've already made back my investment. So, so there's that. And then, yeah, it's a really special, deeply spiritual space that you provide, that I just really feel like has allowed me and given me permission to be myself, right? I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on, with my family and all kinds of different, or just what I've been through in my life. There are a million reasons why I should not be sitting here today, or, putting myself out there the way that I am. And so, along with all the work that I've done, for me, this was the type of space and process that I really needed to just do my thing. And so I just thank you for that, for providing this space.
My pleasure. It is a joy. And finally, how can people stay connected with you to see all the amazing things you're up to?
Oh my gosh, yes. I would really love for people to follow me on Instagram, because that's the best way to stay connected with me and see all of my free content and fun stuff. And it's at 𝐿𝐴𝐻_in_your_life. And it's 𝐿𝐴𝐻, 𝐿𝐴𝐻_in. And yeah, you'll see me there, Reign in Your Life, Empress A. And I can't wait to talk to you.
Yay, we'll have to put that, we'll attach that next to this video, but your Instagram is amazing. It's fun seeing all of your creativity.
Thank you.
So bye everyone. I hope that this conversation inspired you. If you're at a place in your life where you're thinking, I'm meant for more, I want to do more, I hope that this interview shows you that more is possible for you, and there's no accident that you're watching this. So I would love to hear in the comments, like, well, what are you walking away with? What are your takeaways? And I'll be sure to tag Empress A as well. All right, until next time, everyone.